DAZN.
DAZN is the home of boxing, with over 150 live fights a year.
This fight has lived up to expectations.
Good. Finds the cut. He's walking it, he's looking, he's begging, and it worked.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it?
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Are you not entertained?
I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Looking to the end zone for the win! Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
It's their time. A night to remember.
Boxing on DAZN, sponsored by William Hill.
Make a game of it here.
Penalty. Oh, if one man's gonna miss.
Here we go.
He's aimed it.
Te l'avevo promesso.
Intense pressure.
One shot! Oh, not again, love.
That is unreal. Here we go. Absolute perfection.
Peggy 16.
Oh my word, what a shot! Incredible action! What an atmosphere it is! Refusing to lose, refusing to give up, been floored by the headshot!
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by That Prize Guy. The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready. The fighters are ready. The boxing world is ready. The fight starts now. Let's go.
How do you like it? On the show, so aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this.
Fight Night, only on DAZN.
Bivol, I can't believe it's happening. We are here. We are one sleep away from the best light heavyweight showdown we've seen in a very, very long time. Today is weigh-in day. Security behind us as well. The big boys, just in case it kicks off. All right, spin it around. They're going to hit these scales. Fingers crossed they all make weight to make it official. What a week it's been, by the way. Let's remind ourselves of Fight Week.
Two incredible undefeated champions for all of the marbles in the sport of boxing. The undisputed dream.
I don't believe she's as confident as she's trying to portray that she is. I'm always this confident because I know what I'm capable of, and this week is absolutely no different.
You said you're a Sheffield Beterbiev. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I hope you make it home nice and safe after this, but I'm going to brook you up in that ring.
I look incredible in this outfit. In fact, I might just wear this for the rest of the trip.
He'll need that sword what Chris has got next to stop me coming at him on Saturday night.
The talking's nearly over and it's almost time, to land them gloves on Fabio. And my desire and my hunger to become a British champion is as big as ever.
You talk a lot.
That's my job. Yeah, you should try it.
Wow. Eddie Hearn on point there. Look, one sleep away, one day away from a fight that a lot of people in the trade thought couldn't happen. It does happen. Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol. We're going to make it official today because today is weigh-in day from the Cube here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I have replaced Barry Jones and Darren Barker just for a few minutes with Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, Queensbury and Matchroom. Frank, what did you whisper to Camille Zaramata there? I saw that little opening package. And
I said, if he knocks him out, I'll give him a 50 grand bonus.
That'll inspire him. That's good.
So we want to see a good fight, don't we? He's an underdog, and let's get the best out of him.
Indeed, indeed. You know, one thing that both of you have said, and to be fair, all the promoters have said it and managers, that a lot of these events, a lot of these fights wouldn't happen without the influence of Turkey, without the influence of Riyadh season. Some would say you guys have always put on big events and big shows. What's different now, though?
I mean, where do we start? I mean, we've both got massive egos. We don't really want to say that people put on bigger shows than us, but that's why we're here. Yeah. Because sometimes, there's always levels.
Is it the purses? Is it?
It's everything.
The undercard?
I mean, you only have to look around everywhere you are. It's the promotion, it's the investment for the build-up, it's the undercard, it's the main events, it's the promos.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what's taken us back. This is the reason why we have aligned our companies with the path and the strategy of Riyadh season, because we believe in it. We think it's changing the sport. We think it's outstanding for the sport. Our fighters are benefiting. Our businesses are benefiting. The fans are benefiting. We're struggling really to find a disadvantage or a negative about what we're seeing in our sport right now.
Sorry, Frank. One last one, Eddie, to you before we go to Frank. You've promoted Dimitri Bivol for years, right? How long have you tried to make this Beterbiev fight, and would it have been possible without Riyadh season to make this fight?
So, we've been looking at this fight for the last 3 years, really. He's been unifying, he's had mandatories, Beterbiev. But the issue with this fight is, it's a real fight fans fight. Yeah. And what that means is, commercially, it's not as big as Canelo against Bivol, or, so therefore, the fighters sometimes don't receive the purses they deserve for a fight of this magnitude. This is a generational great fight. This is a fight, the best light heavyweight fight for decades. But what happens here is His Excellency is investing in the fight. He's giving the fighters what they deserve in terms of the financial reward. And would this fight have happened? Maybe. But what happened was it happened instantly.
That's the difference, isn't it?
And it happened in 24 hours.
And they got paid more
Exactly,
money.
Of course. I mean, what they're receiving out here compared to what they could have generated perhaps in the US is substantial, and they deserve it, by the way, because it truly is one of the very special fights of our sport.
Frank, you've been a part of this from the very beginning. Fury and Ngannou, I was over here for that Battle of the Baddest. Did you expect, could you dream that it would have been this in the last 12 months?
We are standing in Riyadh season, in the world's capital of boxing. It's taken over from everywhere, Vegas and everywhere. That's what's happened in the space of a year, all these great fights. And what we got on Saturday is one of the fights, as Eddie's saying, what is it, a couple of decades, maybe 20, 22, 23 years, whatever it may be, since the last unification fight between two undefeated fighters. One has record, 20 fights, 20 knockouts. The other one's undefeated, 23 fights undefeated. Great styles that will make a great fight. And the last time we had a unification, all the belts on the line, was Tyson against Usyk. And look what a fight that was. And here we've got another one. This is outstanding. And these fights certainly would not be happening if it weren't for His Excellency, Riyadh season, and the investment that's been made into the sport. It's just amazing. What is happening here now is has set an agenda, set a scene for the future as well, because it doesn't end on Saturday night, it continues. You look what's coming up, the Latino fight in November, you go to the 21st of December, the rematch. Next year we're announcing, he's already let the cat out of the bag, we've got another 5v5. So that's going to be something special again. And it just goes on and on and on. And if you're a fight fan, how can you not like that?
Yeah, no, honestly, it's an incredible schedule. And there was a time when we thought Riyadh season was from October to March, and it continued, didn't it, with Wembley and LA. You mentioned Fury. Obviously, Tyson Fury takes on Alexander Usyk December 21st. We got the announcement of the undercard, and it's Matchroom and Queensbury, isn't it, this one? Some really good fights. And one, Eddie, that a lot of people maybe won't talk about, and they should, is Boychuk versus Madrimov. Boychuk, I thought, was incredible against Virgil Ortiz. And Israel Madrimov nearly surprised everyone against Terence Crawford.
Yeah, that is an absolute war. I mean, obviously a big night for Ukraine again with Alexander Usyk and Bohachik. You know, for me, I thought he beat Virgil Ortiz that night. Could have gone either way. Madrimov, I thought he nicked it against Crawford. But to jump straight back into that fight for both of them is what Riyadh season's all about. It's another 50-50 fight, a massive fight for their career. I'll let Frank talk about Moses. Johnny Fisher, you know, great platform for him, going to bring hundreds of fans. Of course, there'll be thousands of British fans travelling for the show as well. For me, when I look at it, I can't stop thinking about and talking about Dennis McCann against Peter McGrail, because we made that fight in about, between Matchroom and Queensbury in about 10 minutes. Then we had to speak to the fighters, and it took less than 24 hours. Like, that is such a great fight. British and European super bantamweight championship between two of the best young fighters in the country. I can't wait for that.
Both of them really want it as well. I was going on both of their socials, and they're both eager for this.
It's a brilliant fight. And, Frank's got Moses on in a
You got Johnny on, two heavyweights that could eventually
even Isaac
meet.
Lowe, Lee McGregor, great little fight. I mean, it's a fantastic card.
There's 8 Brits on the card.
It's not bad,
8 British fighters on that card. And, and I echo everything Eddie says about the Dennis's fight against McGrail. That is a cracker of a fight. 2 belts on the line. It was ordered by the EBU and the Border Control. So we got it done, and the fans are going to be in for a treat with that. Moses, he's stepping up.
Yep.
Dempsey's only lost 1 fight.
Philip Hrgovic,
Hrgovic, who we see Hrgovic in action against Daniel Dubois. So you know how dangerous he is early in the fight. And he was undefeated going in that fight, which was the interim title. And the fight with Dempsey, I believe, was an eliminator for the world title. Yeah. Final eliminator for the world title. So it's a big step up for a teenager, a 19-year-old guy. And we're going to gauge from him where he's at this stage of his career in fighting Dempsey. It's a cracking card.
Very quickly, before we get to matters at hand on the weekend, you're both here, Dubois, AJ. Has there been any conversations between you two over a cup of coffee about a potential rematch, anything at all?
Yeah, I mean, as with all of these fights, the man in the middle is His Excellency. So it's not really always Frank and I talking about making the fight. It's His Excellency talking to Frank and talking to me. And of course, we're talking as well, and we're keeping everybody in the loop. So, there's a period of time within AJ's contract that he's got to make a decision. It's not up yet, but he's thinking hard, he's resting the body, he's having to think about what he's going to do. It's still quite fresh. It's only, 3 weeks ago, and he's still devastated by the defeat, and Daniel's had a great time in Brazil as the new champion, and well-deserved. So we'll see, I think is the right answer. It's a big decision for Anthony. You've got the Fury-Usyk fight coming up. There is options for him, but I don't think there's a right or wrong decision, honestly. We'll have to just see what happens over the next couple of weeks.
Either way, British fight fans, world fight fans are in for a treat. All right, let's get back to matters at hand here. We had the press conference yesterday after Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol. I've never seen Beterbiev angry until Eddie got him angry.
What they say, you want to make fight with Eddie? No?
Yeah, he called you arrogant.
Why you do that?
He called you arrogant.
It really can be, but I can do something, you know? Why you...
Don't worry about me. You have to get through him first.
But why you talk like this?
When he's finished with you, it'll be easier for me.
Why? We no need finish with him. Why finish with him tomorrow?
Really?
With you,
Saturday?
Today, maybe.
Just
today.
the weigh-in tomorrow.
Maybe today, with you.
Maybe. I don't think it would be a tough fight. You need a real
I think
challenge.
you're not good condition now.
I mean, terrible.
Yeah?
But I think you need to switch on for this guy.
Okay. You talk a lot.
That's my job.
Yeah.
You should try it.
Okay, we'll see in Saturday. This Saturday.
Eddie. You know, I've interviewed him a few times, and look, he's quite difficult. He doesn't say much. It was almost as though that was your plan, to try and get something out of him.
It's a show.
Yeah.
The things I do for views. You know, I nearly got myself chinned.
Put your life on
exactly,
the line.
just for DAZN and His Excellency. Listen, they love it. You see His Excellency sitting there having a little giggle.
Yeah.
This is what you want, isn't it? I mean, you don't have to like what I say or do, but by the way, we got more out of Beterbiev in that 30 seconds than his last 6 fights. And he's very funny. He's got a great sense of humour. You want to see that more. We did it with Crawford as well. So sometimes our job is just to poke the bear a little bit and get talking points. And also, if I can rattle him a little bit, I mean, I've had a few people saying, God, poor Dimitri. What have you done there? But, Dimitri said to me, I've not seen him like that before. He was a little bit rattled, wasn't he? So, listen, it's all fun and games till the bell goes. And then we can just sit back and say, over to you. I was just disappointed, I might say, that I turned around while this was all going off and I looked at Fraser Clark for a little bit of help and he went to me, you're on your own, son. I didn't have much backup.
No one wanted to back you up there. Frank, I was
going to grab...
No, you wasn't. Frank, you were trying to stir it a little bit as well. What do you make of it, Frank, on the outside looking in? What do you make of that main event?
Oh, it's a brilliant fight. I mean, it's a great fight. As a spectator, watching that, it's a connoisseur's fight that's crossed over now. Everybody's talking about it because these two guys are they're the two of the best in their division, but they're two of the best fighters in the world.
Yeah.
And it will be exciting. For them, the excitement, where they come from, where they originate from. Who wants to be the boss?
Yeah, you're right.
You've got all those ingredients of it. This is boxing at its best, at its extreme best. And HE's done a great job in making this happen. It should have happened a few months ago, but unfortunately, Beterbiev got injured. But he's got it over the line. And what a night of boxing it's going to be.
Indeed. Part of that night of boxing is the first ever female world title fight on Riyadh season. Sky Nicholson defends her WBC featherweight title. She takes on Raven Chapman. Here is a bit more about the Australian world champion.
Yeah, I feel honoured. I feel like it's such an empowering position to be in, just to know that you're inspiring so many women. I honestly, I wake up some days and I just can't believe, this is my life. And I've always said, knowing that I could be that person for someone, just kind of like Katie Taylor was for me, means more to me than world titles, than any achievements and accolades. I met a couple of Saudi girls in the boxing gym over the last couple of days, and just their face when they saw me, and I just couldn't believe it. For me, they couldn't believe it obviously, but I couldn't believe it. When I was 12 years old starting out boxing, there was no women's boxing in the Olympics, so while I always thought, wow, I would love to be an Olympian, it was just something that could never happen. So then when that happened, it was tick. I never thought I would turn professional, let alone go on and win world titles and be a face of women's boxing and be someone that young girls look up to. So I think younger Sky would be very, very proud of me.
Very, very confident Sky Nicholson, and very, very good as well. This is another Matchroom versus Queensbury battle here. Matchroom, choose your charge.
Sooner or later.
Surely. Surely.
This is. She does go into the fight as a favourite, because of, I think, her experience, and she's champion. But it's another 50-50 fight, really. I mean, Raven's very good. She's very strong. It's a brilliant clash of styles. I think the perception is, you've got to walk down Sky. You can bully her in the ring, and then they try and do that, and she wins every round. But Raven has got ability. She's got amateur pedigree, and she really wants this. This means a lot. This is such a massive opportunity for them, because I was saying that everybody's benefited from Riyadh season, apart from probably the women's side of the game, and now that begins on Saturday night. It's a big responsibility for those two, and hopefully it'll open the doors to other big female fights on Riyadh season cards.
Frank, what do you make of the growth of the sport on the female side? Obviously, look, Eddie kicked it off with Katie Taylor, who's done incredible stuff, right? Good luck to her against Amanda Serrano. What do you make of the growth of it in the last 10 years or so?
Oh, it's been massive. I mean, you know, we were a bit slow getting into it, but Nicola Adams, son of us, she was a two-time gold medalist and won a world title.
On the broadcast on Saturday, Nicola Adams as well?
Yeah, so it's brilliant. She's here. But this fight is something special for a lot of reasons. One, because it's the first ever women's world championship fight to take place in Saudi. And, you know, we went to the gyms yesterday. See the girls training with the guys, the amateur girls training there. So it's inspired people. And that shows what's happened in just a year out of here because of boxing.
Yeah.
And it's fabulous from that perspective. This is a great fight. You know, Raven's obviously with us. She's a real competitor, and we didn't sign her because she was a woman. We signed her because she's a good boxer.
Yeah.
And she is a good boxer. The last fight, they put the punch stats up, and they were saying how many punches have been thrown during the fight, and compared with men, how many it was. And I had to remind them they were 2-minute rounds as well. She's all action, so this is going to be, you know, a really, really good fight. You know, Sky's a marvellous fighter. She's done it at every level. So for me, if you're going to have a women's title fight here in Riyadh season, the very first one, you couldn't have got a better one than this.
Yeah, what a moment for both ladies. Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, thank you very, very much. Chris Eubank Jr., the Enigma, is on the card as well. He takes on Camille Zaramata. There he is, Ataya and Swore. I thought this was going to take Eddie's eye out for one
very
stage.
Close.
There was one that was very, very close.
I think he was tactical.
He tried his thing, didn't he? Liam Smith has shared the ring twice with Chris Eubank Jr., and he's downstairs with Olivia Bazaglo.
Thank you very much, Addy. Yeah, it's been an incredible fight week, hasn't it? And it all culminates tonight, and then, of course, with fight night tomorrow night, which we're all very much looking forward to. I mean, I say it's never simple with Chris Eubank Jr., but as you say, Addy, I am with someone that knows him probably better than most. I mean, just first of all, Liam, thank you so much for joining us. You beat him once, you've lost to him once. I mean, just overall in general, what do you make of Chris Eubank Jr.? Is he good for this sport?
You know, he's got... It's what you take. Some people are going to like him, some people are going to hate him, but, you know, take my rivalry aside from him, he's a character in boxing. Like I say, like him or hate him.
There was a little incident today with him and Conor Benn, obviously in the Fighters Hotel. They came face to face. Chris Eubank Jr. wasn't happy with the way that Conor Benn approached him. What did you make of that? What's your opinion on it?
My opinion on it is just, it's getting a little bit boring from my point of view. I'm not that type of character. It's been going on for years now. They're not going to have a roll round on the hotel floor, so just fight next, or let the Eubank and Ben saga go for a little bit until you want to fight, because, you know, if people are getting bored of it now, it's like WWE arguing face-offs and when they're not even fighting each other. But I do also agree with Chris in a bit. It was a better time for Conor to do it. Chris is literally just made weight or making weight, and he's got to fight tomorrow, and Conor's sticking on him, but they've got a personal battle, and it's a little bit more than boxing now, so each to their own.
And just quickly, before we let you go, Liam, when are we going to see you back in the ring? That is what everyone wants to know.
Fingers crossed. You know, I had a bit of bad luck. I got an illness before the last Riyadh season card, so fingers crossed I can get on another one. If not, you know, I was playing to get on the December show, but it wasn't to be. So fingers crossed I get out just after Christmas.
Liam, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. Yeah, we hope whenever you're back in the ring, we are very much looking forward to it. So hope you enjoy tonight. Enjoy Saturday night. Ade, back to you.
Yeah, very disappointed we didn't get to see Liam Smith versus Josh Kelly, but it looks in good spirits, so hopefully we get to see him in the ring very soon. We'll see that man in the ring on Saturday. Chris Eubank Jr. takes on Camille Zaramata. One man I wanted him to take on is a man in studio with us now. Hamza Sheeraz is here alongside my team of Barry Jones, Darren Barker. Hello, gents. Part-timers. Part-timers, both of you. Hey, Hamza, good to see you here, brother.
Likewise.
Looking good.
Thank you.
I see a couple of call-outs. People calling you out finally.
Yeah, for real, man. For real. Listen, I've got myself in a good position as well, so I can't complain.
Indeed. What have you made of Chris this week? You've been watching him up close and personal. What have you made of him?
I think he's a very eccentric character. Very eccentric. You've got to remember, he's been out the limelight for a year, so he's trying to come back in it with a bang. Kind of understand what he's doing, but now he's got to back it up with a good performance tomorrow night.
Very quickly, I remember speaking to you a few months ago, and I asked you the question, if you were offered a world title fight or Chris Eubank Jr., and you said Chris Eubank Jr., I'm asking you again the same question. What's the answer?
I think now it's kind of changed a little bit, because I'll tell you why, because
the price has changed.
And the possibility, like, being mandated and whatnot, it's within touching distance now, and like I said, from being a kid, you dream of winning world titles and whatnot, and yeah, man. So I think I'd have to change my mind now.
Hamza, his opponent, choice of opponent for this show. What's your thoughts on it? Slightly disappointed, or
if he didn't open his mouth and talk about fighting the likes of Canelo, fighting the likes of Conor Benn, and these big names, it would have made sense. A good comeback fight for him. But when you say you're in the sport to earn money, these ain't money fights. It makes no sense. It is not money fights. So yeah, I don't agree with the opponent he's come back to. Listen, it's not like he's got age and time on his side. He's towards the end of his career now. So if I was him, I'd be taking the big fight straight away and right away.
Do you think, because you mentioned he's at the end of his career, do you still think he has that explosiveness that he had earlier on to get the stoppages and to impress like he once did?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I suppose we'll find out tomorrow night. I'm hoping he's still got it. Because if I do get in the ring with him, it'll make all the ingredients for a more exciting fight, and more the public will be interested, rather than saying, oh, he's over the hill now and he's been there, done it. So yeah, let's see what happens.
The last time we saw you, Hamza, was in the ring, Wembley Stadium, right? Every fight on that card was tough to call, right? Yeah. Apart from yours, you made it look easy work against a very good fighter in Tyler Denny. When you look back at that performance, what do you take from it?
I don't take much, because I went and done exactly what I set out to do. And I'm no disrespect to Tyler Denny, a great fighter, but to do what I want to do in this sport, I had to dispatch him exactly like that and get rid of him. I gave myself 4 rounds to do it. So 2 was like, it was all right. I'll give myself an A.
It must be great as well, having to deal with these occasions. You know, that you're ticking boxes every time you fight now, and that's holding you in good stead, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I don't think now I could possibly be any more ready for a world title fight. So the way I've gone about things, and my team's gone about things, and my promoter Frank Warren, I think he's done very well.
I'm going to talk like you're not here now, and I would say the reason why you've improved massively is you understand your range and your distance, and now you've slowed yourself down so you don't rush your work. Has taken you from being a prospect to a genuine world title contender. And I think you fighting for a world title puts you in a really good position. I think you win a world title then if you get the opportunity.
Yeah, no, God willing.
Very quickly on Alam Kanali, obviously look, he's called you out, right? I mean, you wanted that fight as well. I know for a fact that your team have put an offer to him. Is that the one you want next?
Him or Adames, because I've been mandated for both. Him or Adames, whatever fight makes sense, whatever fight Frank Warren makes happen and my team makes happen, we'll go for that.
Any preference?
No, not really. Either or, because God willing, I get the win, I know I'll be fighting the other one anyway right away. So either or, I'm happy.
Love it, Hamza. Great to see you out here. Thanks as always, my man,
guys.
for coming through. All right, Todd Grisham is downstairs. He's with Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas trained Alexander Vosdik, who put on a fantastic performance against Beterbiev a few years ago. Let's hear from both.
Indeed, Ade, it was 5 years ago that Teddy Atlas was in the corner for Vosnik as he faced Beterbiev. That fight was going pretty well for you until the 10th round. What was the game plan that night, and what would you suggest that Bivol does?
You can't just run on him. You know, I've heard people say, you know, just take off, use your legs. Yeah, you got to use your legs. You got to control space, distance. No doubt about that. You don't want to lay in front of him. But you have to punch at the right distance, because if you don't do something to hold him off, to keep him busy, and hopefully to hurt him a little bit, he's just going to walk through. A lot of people think, all right, I'll just move all night, I'll pick my spots. He'll walk right in. So the trick is to kind of tiger claw a little bit. What I mean by that is not just on your toes moving, but set, where you punch, but you always set the punch. So you make him earn his way in, and then you break it off to the sides. Obviously, you want to set traps. You want to see if you can get him to bite a little bit. But you know what? He's not only a seek and destroy, guy that at the end of the day, he blows you up, but he's technically sound. He comes behind the jab. He's covered up well. He controls, he understands range well. He very rarely is off balance where you get him to reach too much. And he does his own little subtle things where he gives you a little feint. He'll take a walk around the block a little bit, like the old timers would say, when he can't find the key for the front door. He'll step a little bit out of range, then back in range. He'll do though. He's more than, just a time bomb. He's a lot more than that. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that his pressure, his constant, even if he loses the early rounds, in his mind, he's winning them. He's putting money in the bank. Because he's starting to wear you down. It takes time. You boil a pot of water. It takes time. But then you come back and the water's gone. But it does take minutes to do that. It takes rounds to kind of evaporate the guy. And that's what he does. And that's the right word. He evaporates guys with his pressure, his constant pressure. So at the end of the day, the most important thing, it's not the jab. It's not the footwork. It's not the traps. It's not the combinations. It's not the angles. It's this. You have to be able to try to match him in the mental toughness area, the mental durability area, where you don't get evaporated. That's the most important part.
Well, I know you're coming off knee surgery. We were just talking about it. You said it's coming along, but slower than you would like. Beterbiev approaching 40, just coming off knee surgery. How much of a factor do you think that's going to play?
You know, Father Time is undefeated, right? You never know when he's going to show up. You know, he's a surprise guest. You know, I hate those surprise guests. You know, all of a sudden, I don't know, here I am. You don't know if he's going to show up all of a sudden Saturday night. But there's another part to that, being close to 40, and that he's been in a lot of tough battles, or a lot of battles where he's gotten cut. He's got scar tissue. The skin gets a little more brittle when you get older. The scar tissue can break. That's an X factor for me.
Yeah.
The possibility that cuts could play into this. Definitely could play, and especially the kind of punches, you know, the combinations, the crisp punches that Bivol throws.
It's your foundation.
It can cut, it can help. Those kind of punches can slice and dice. And so I wouldn't be shocked if cuts came into play. And then, of course, there's one other X factor, the referee. Is there going to be a referee that's going to allow Beterbiev? You know, he's not exactly a lover of the Queensberry of Marcus rules. No, listen, I'm not saying he's that. I have none but respect for the man. I mean, the man is a destroyer, and he lives by a code, a warrior's code. And he comes from a region of the world that inspires that breeds that, and there's no doubt about it. But he gets in there, you know, he don't care where he hits you. If he misses it back here.
Hey, watch out now. Watch out. Come on now, Teddy. Easy. All right. We're glad you're here. Godspeed with your recovery with your knees, and we'll send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Todd. It's great to hear from Teddy Atlas, one of the best voices in the sport. All right, we are moments away from the weigh-in for undefeated versus undefeated to become undisputed.
For the first time in over a decade, a major boxing video game has hit the scene on Xbox and PS5. It is Undisputed, and for the first time, the fighters competing in this weekend's Riyadh season card are getting their hands on it. Let's see how they do. So the verdict is in, ladies and gentlemen. What do the fighters think about Undisputed? I'd say it's a smashing success.
I would have been a very happy man to take that TV home. I'd have been very happy. Guys, I asked you the question on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday. It's Friday. The fighters are going to hit the scales very, very soon. Are you both still Team Bivol?
I'm sticking with my guns.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Still always.
Haven't changed your mind after you saw Beterbiev doing that little media workout?
I mean, it was a little worrying.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie. And he's got one hell of a chance. But yeah, I'm just going with Bivol.
All right, let's do this. Let's make this official. The fighters are ready. All the people that need to be on the stage are on the stage. Let's throw it to your MC, Mr. Thomas Triber.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official weigh-in for the four-crown showdown. A great night of World Championship Boxing tomorrow at the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We would first like to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency, Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, Jia, Turkey, Alakel. This great event is being brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, Jia, with Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Bob Arum for Top Rank Incorporated, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing. Gold Star Promotions, Boxer, World of Boxing, and Sella. Along with their great sponsors. Saudi Tourism Authority, Saudi National Bank, STC, Dr. Suleiman Al Habib Medical Group, Saudia Airlines, New Muraba Development Company, and Lucid Motors. A big thanks to those great sponsors. This great event will be shown in the UK and worldwide on DAZN, in the UK on TNT Sports Box Office and Sky Sports Box Office, and in the United States, the main event exclusively shown on ESPN+. Let's now get the weigh-in process started. Our first two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round international super welterweight contest. Let's first welcome a native of Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico, now fighting out of Bratislava, Slovakia. He is a veteran of 61 professional bouts. Let's welcome Cristian Lopez Flores. And now let's welcome a native of Switzerland, now fighting out of Downey, California, USA. Tomorrow, making his professional boxing debut, here is Marco Marriage. First to the scale, we will welcome Cristian Lopez Flores. $151.9 for Cristian Lopez Flores. Now to the scale, Marco Marriage. $152.6 for Marco Marriage. Once again, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round international super welterweight contest.
Finally, we get to see these two guys, by the way, because all week we haven't seen them. We've heard they're here, we've heard they're on the card, but we didn't even know what they look like. Finally, we see them.
Yeah, we do. Flores, we know a little bit about him. Ziad Al-Mayouf beat him on the AJ Ngannou card. So yeah, it was good for them to get their little bit of taste of this.
Let's continue. Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round international lightweight contest. Let's welcome, coming to us from Sucre, Colombia. His professional record, 3 wins with 2 defeats. Here is Jesus Gonzalez. And before we welcome our next fighter, we would like to recognize joining us here today, His Excellency Turki Alakel. Now let's welcome from Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, making his professional debut, mighty Mohamed Alakel. First to the scale, we welcome Jesus Gonzalez. 131.6 for Jesus Gonzalez. Now to the scale, Mohamed Alakel. 131.6 for mighty Mohamed Alakel. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round international lightweight contest.
What a moment, Barry, for Mohamed Alakel. Obviously, look, born in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, representing the country. I mean, this is something special for him that he's going to remember forever, whatever happens.
Yeah, it is. And it's how he controls his emotions now, which is very important because it's a big stage. He's up against a guy with a winning record, so that's an ambitious, to be honest, an ambitious debut. But I think they would know who they're up against, and I'm sure he'll go away with a convincing victory.
I believe we are going to hear from Mohamed Alakel. Yeah, I can see he's with Olivier Bazagla. We are going to hear from him. Doesn't say much, very, very shy. But again, look, what a moment for him. Let's hear from Mohamed Alakel with Olivier Bazagla.
Mohamed, we've got to the weigh-in. I mean, what have you made of just this whole week and being here?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good experience, you know, especially for the future. All the hard work is done under than 24 hours to go, itching to get in there and get the work done.
Have you found today making weight the hardest day out of them?
No, it was pretty simple. It was easy.
And how much would this mean, of course, fighting out of your home country? You were born in Riyadh. What would it mean to get the win on your professional debut?
It means a lot to represent my country and, you know, honored.
Good luck tomorrow night.
Very much.
There you go. Mohamed Alakel takes on Jesus Gonzalez. Incredible story. Trained by Joe Gallagher. And I think you said this as well, Darren. Joe wouldn't train him if he didn't see anything in him.
Yeah, there's a big opportunity for the young man to be the flag bearer for Saudi Arabian boxing.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 10-round contest. It will be for the IBF International Light Heavyweight Championship. Let's first welcome the challenger coming to us from Sheffield, England. He brings a professional record consisting of 23 wins, 6 defeats, with 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former Commonwealth champion, Liam Cannonball Cameron. And now let's welcome the defending champion from Darlaston, West Midlands, England. Undefeated with 8 wins, 5 of his 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Also a 2020 Olympic silver medalist. Here is the reigning and defending IBF International Light Heavyweight Champion, Ben the Surgeon Whitaker. First to the scale, we welcome the challenger, Liam Cameron. $174.6 for the challenger, Liam Cannonball Cameron. Now to the scale, the defending champion, Ben Whitaker. 174.9 for Ben the Surgeon Whitaker.
Looking forward to this one. I don't mind a fight that has a little heat. And this one got a little heated, Barry, at the press conference yesterday.
Yeah, well, Ben Whitaker's a supreme, confident athlete. You know, he likes to do his talk, and you know how much he showboats in the ring. But Liam Cameron is a no-nonsense fighter, and he won't stand for it. Really confident for where he's come from and what he's come back from as well to produce some good performances, even in defeat. You fancy you can unsettle Ben Whitaker, who's I think a real world-class talent, but still untested at a higher level. This is a real step up here for Whitaker, but if he's as good as we think he's going to be, Darren, this should be a good night, an easy night for him.
I like this fight, Barry. A good clash of styles, the incredible backstory of Liam Cameron, the exciting talent that is Ben Whitaker, the future very bright for this young man, but he is in a real fight with a hungry opponent in Liam Cameron.
We know he's hungry. Is he good enough? That's the question to compete with Ben Whitaker. We're going to find out tomorrow night. Ben Whitaker in incredible shape. So is Liam Cameron. And they're still talking. They're still yapping, these two.
I got that. Ben Whitaker's good for boxing because he's a polarising character. He does his talk. We all know him. He's a lovely guy, you know, behind the scenes. But his character, you know, in fight time, is this brash, arrogant guy who can play with everyone he boxes, and he does that. He expresses himself in that way. So he's a very, very Marmite fighter. But I think it works for him. You know, he transcends the sport, and he might be a future star.
I love it. When you talk the talk, you have to walk the walk, and let's see if Ben Whitaker can walk the walk tomorrow. We are going to hear from both fighters. Ben Whitaker is going to be joined by Oliver Bazaglo, and Todd Grisham's going to speak to Liam Cameron. I like it, I really do. Let's hear from Ben Whitaker. Let's hear from Liam Cameron. He's with Todd Grisham.
I am here with the self-proclaimed Beterbiev of Sheffield. What were you and Ben saying up there to each other?
He was just saying he can hear me heartbeat, but he was shitting his then. Do you know what? The talking's done. I'm not a talker. Ben's the talker, I'm not.
You know, it was 18 months ago. You were battling with demons. You were in the back of an ambulance. You thought you might die. You said you were going to turn your life over to boxing, and look where you are right now. What does being here mean to you?
Oh, it's everything. Ben thinks I'm scared of him. I've been way worse than that.
Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you very much.
Let's send it over to Liv.
Thank you very much, Todd. I mean, Ben, Liam just said there to Todd that he thinks you were scared as you were facing up, looking at him face to face.
I think the perfect thing was on. I ain't never scared. You know what I mean? When you work the way I work, preparate the way I preparate, there's no reason to be scared, especially when the Lord's on my side.
What was being said between you two up there?
I could see that heart beating out his chest, but at the end of the day, the work's done, the talking's done. It's go time tomorrow.
And what have you got planned then for the next 24 hours before this big fight?
Go back to the hotel, play a bit of Uno.
Love Uno.
What can I say? Then whoop that boy tomorrow. That's how we're going.
Thank you very much. Good luck, Ben.
Thank you very much.
Confident. I mean, if he could bottle that confidence up and sell it, he'll make a lot of money just from the confidence. But again, he has to deliver tomorrow, and I guess you put pressure on yourself when you talk that much, but I like it. I like it a lot.
Yes, it's a lot of self-belief. I tell you what, if you could bottle up his talent, you can sell that for fortunes. You know, he's got both. It's now about delivering on the big stage.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 10-round contest. It will be for the women's WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome the challenger, coming to us from High Wycombe, England, bringing an undefeated record with 9 wins. 2 of her 9 wins coming by way of knockout. She is the current women's WBC International Featherweight Champion, the Omen, Raven Chapman. And now let's welcome the defending world champion from Queensland, Australia, a 2020 Olympian, now undefeated as a professional with 11 wins, 1 win coming by way of knockout. Here is the reigning and defending women's WBC featherweight champion of the world, future undisputed Sky Nicholson. Let's first welcome to the scale the challenger, Raven Chapman. $125.9 for the challenger, the Omen, Raven Chapman. Now to the scale, the defending world champion, Sky Nicholson. The same as her opponent, 125.9 for the defending world champion, future undisputed Sky Nicholson. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow.
125.9, 125.9. I think this is going to be a really good fight. I think a lot of people coming in maybe think Sky is a level above. I think Raven Chapman's going to make her work for every minute of this fight.
Absolutely. I mean, on paper, certainly her toughest test. She's very energetic, very busy, very capable, but Sky on her day is very, very tough to beat. So disciplined. She does her. It's down to Raven Chapman to get in that fight early, grab the fight by the scruff of the neck, and really make Sky work for every second of every round.
How does she use her physicality, Barry? You see Raven there, physically looks the stronger of the two. How does she use it on the night?
It's the feet. You got to try and feint to draw something out of Sky and then jump on it. It's very important, as Darren said. If you don't start fast and Sky Nicholson gets into a rhythm, it's very hard to get out of that.
All right, let's hear it from both fighters, starting with the challenger, Raven Chapman. She's with Todd Grisham.
There we are. This isn't just a normal fight, Raven. This is the first ever female world championship bout in Saudi Arabia. How does it feel for you to be making history?
Yeah, it feels amazing. It feels like such an honor to be able to be here, make some history. It's not often you get to do that these days, so I'm trying to make sure I go down in the history books and become world champion tomorrow night.
You've predicted a knockout. We know you have the power to do it, but it's hard to lay a glove on her. You've seen her fights in the past. How do you intend to get inside and to punch her in the face as hard as you think you can?
I'll show you exactly how I do that tomorrow.
Look forward to it.
Thank you very much.
All right, over to Olivia.
Sky, it got a little bit tense, especially at the press conference yesterday. Do you like it when that happens?
It's definitely new territory for me. I want to thank His Excellency, Turki Al-Sheikh, for this opportunity. To be here. I know we have a very empowering position on Saturday night. Tomorrow night, it's finally here. Can't wait.
You still got a huge smile on your face. What makes you so confident that you are going to beat her?
I trust my preparation. I know what I'm capable of, and now it's just time to do the job. I can't wait for tomorrow night.
Good luck tomorrow, Sky.
Thank you.
It's a good one, isn't it? Should be a good fight. WBC featherweight title up for grabs. Sky Nicholson taking on Raven Chapman. By the way, the crowd has swelled here, and it's sort of built up throughout the days, hasn't it? I mean, there are people outside that can't get in. I mean, it shows that people are really starting to get behind this undisputed light heavyweight title fight.
And even more so, I think boxing here in Riyadh is really starting to grow. It's capturing the imagination of the tourists here, but more importantly, you know, the citizens that live here. You can see it's building, it's growing, and yeah, I can understand why, because this is special.
But that's important, isn't it? Look, football's always going to be number one, right? I mean, when you've got stars like Ronaldo and Neymar over here, it's going to be hard to compete with them. But it's important that the locals understand what's going on.
Yeah, and that's why these weeks are important, because if you just say there's a fight on Saturday, it's really good, come and see it, they won't understand it. So doing something every day especially with what we have, the set that they put up. So it attracts people. They don't know what it is to start off. They come, have a look, and they see a little bit of stuff. You know, this is good, this is interesting. And if they come every day, they become invested, and then they want to come on Saturday night. So I think getting a thirst for the sport and understanding what it's all about, these weeks are massively important.
And the most important thing is the product is delivering. Every time there's a show here, the fights are epic. So the fans who are coming, they might be newcomers to boxing, and they're like, wow, this is incredible. Give me more. I want more of this.
Probably can hear it behind me there. Bivol, he's got a lot of fans here as well. You look at the jerseys, I can see Fraser Clark hats as well. They have brought their teams and fans over, which is very, very important. Also very important is the fact that we've got a first women's world title fight here. Yeah. How significant is that, Barry?
It's massive. No, we've had a women's fight before in Saudi Arabia, but obviously in Jeddah, but having a women's world title fight, and stylistically a good clash, I think that's important. If it's a fight that's, a one-sided, affair, then and also a tippy-tappy affair, it's not going to be great, because they picked a real good dance partner for Sky Nicholson and Raven Chapman, who will give it all, make Nicholson work hard, and that'll give an appetite for people who want to see it again. It's very, very important. So it wasn't just having the fight, it was picking the right people for that, and I think they've done that.
Just to separate and get both of your opinions on this, there's been a lot of talk about potential doing 10 threes for world title fights or 12 twos. Would you do 12 twos for world title fights? Not 3 minutes, I don't think that would work, but would you do 12 twos very quickly?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'd experiment with it.
Yeah? I think it'll make sense. All right, I think we're ready now to continue with the weigh-in, so let's kick it off. Let's throw it back downstairs to your MC, Mr. Thomas Treiber.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the vacant IBO Middleweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome, coming to us from Białystok, Poland. He brings a professional record consisting of 25 wins, 2 defeats, 2 draws, with 8 wins coming by way of knockout. He is a former world title challenger, Kamil Szeremeta. And now let's welcome from Brighton, England. His professional record, 33 wins, 3 defeats, with 24 of his 33 wins coming by way of knockout. He is a former British champion and former IBO super middleweight world champion. Here is Chris Eubank Jr. We now welcome to the scale first, Kamil Szeremeta. $159.12 for Kamil Szeremeta. And now to the scale, Chris Eubank Jr. The same as his opponent, 159.12 for Chris Eubank Jr. These two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest for the vacant IBO Middleweight Championship of the World.
Both of them 159.12. I don't know if you guys heard when Frank was in the studio with Eddie Hearn and myself, and I said, Frank, you whispered something in Kamil Szeremeta's ears yesterday, and he said, yeah, I offered him a bonus of 50 grand to knock out Chris Eubank Jr.
He's obviously not a fan. That might make the fight a little bit more spicy, because it's on paper, it's a one-sided fight. But this is a fight, though, he needed a comeback fight like this, Eubank, and he's been on for a long time. It's important, though, the win is we think they've given, but we're not sure. But it's important that he performs. If he underperforms and just get scraped over the line, there's a lot of questions to be asked.
Chris Eubank Jr. looks incredible on the scales there. He always does look in great shape. I mean, this is why he's able to take his body down a little bit to fight Conor Benn. That fight could happen. Went up a little bit to fight George Groves. I think we are going to hear it from Chris Eubank. He's going to speak to Olivia, but as Chris does, he takes his time. No one rushes Chris. No one whatsoever. He's great for the sport, isn't he, Barry?
But you were talking about Ben Whitaker earlier, and Eubank Jr. is very much that Marmite character. You know, he gets into people's skin, but he's such a strong-willed human. He doesn't care what people think about him. He just goes about his business, and what he says is what he believes.
All right, let's hear what he says now. He is still on the stage with Olivia Bazaglo.
I mean, Chris has literally just said to me, well, we're doing an interview, I'm going to take my shirt off. So we've got a shirtless Chris Eubank Jr. Chris, you've embraced this culture all of this week. Just tell me what fight week has been like for you.
It's been a roller coaster, but it's been fun. It's been, the weight cut went well. The interviews went well. The press conferences went well. Everything's gone perfect. Now all I have to do is get in that ring and do what I've been preparing to do my whole life, which is take guys apart in style.
I was going to say, it's not just about winning, but making a statement tomorrow night.
It's about looking sexy. That's it. That's all I got to do.
And just finally, I have to ask you about the Conor Benn incident. From your point of view, what happened today?
From my point of view, that little insect is a coward. He waited until I was cutting weight, dehydrated, and malnourished to come and step to me. And he showed his true colors. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about Conor Benn. I'm not thinking about that guy. I got to go out there and I got to deal with this tough opponent in Kamil Szeremeta. After I've dealt with Kamil, Conor's next.
Good luck tomorrow night, Chris.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. I was going to ask the question, what next if he does get past Kamil Szeremeta? I think we've already been told now, potentially, and I guess, look, there are still a couple of hurdles to get over. Potentially, we are going to see Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. at 160 pounds, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's got to happen, I think. It needs to be put to bed. The rivalry, the bad blood needs to end, and it only ends when you get in the ring and you compete. It's a fight I'm all in for.
Yeah, Kamil Szeremeta first, though, for Chris Eubank Jr. Maybe Conor Benn next.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the IBF Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome the challenger coming to us from Manchester, England. He brings a professional record consisting of 22 wins, 2 defeats, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the current EBU European and Commonwealth Cruiserweight champion, Jack One Smack Massey. And now let's welcome the defending world champion from Gold Coast, Australia, a 2012 Olympian, now undefeated as a professional with 25 wins, 19 of his 25 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the current Ring Magazine champion, and tomorrow night, the reigning and defending IBF Cruiserweight champion of the world, Jai Opetaia. Let's now welcome to the scale the challenger, Jack Massey. 199.12 for the challenger, Jack One Smack Massey. Now to the scale, the defending world champion, Jai Opetaia. 198.9 for the defending world champion, Jai Opetaia.
You know, when this fight was first announced, 2 months ago, I think a lot of people are like, it's not Chris Billiam-Smith. A lot of people weren't that interested in it. All of a sudden, everyone is glued to the TV tomorrow because of this one.
I think it's a really good fight. People who think Jack Massey's just going to be blown over are going to be mistaken. Opetaia has the ability to do that, let's not forget it, but also, you know, Massey's a really good, well-structured fighter. He's tough. He showed that against Joseph Parker, of course. He's technically quite good, and he's massive for the weight. So Opetaia, who's admitted now he's going to go back to the boxing and trying to be a destroyer, I think, you know, he's going to have his work. He's going to take time. If he can break Massey down, I think this goes the distance.
I love this fight. Yeah. I really, really like this fight. You've got the reigning champion looking to push on to massive things, move up in weight. You've got Jack Massey looking to realise the dream of becoming a world champion. He truly believes in himself. So does this man. Looks so destructive. Brilliant fight.
It is a brilliant fight. Let's hear it from both fighters, starting with the challenger, Jack Massey. He's on stage with Todd Grisham.
I'm here with One Smack Jack. A lot of hype, obviously, around Jai Opetaia. Are you buying that? Is he as good as everyone seems to think he is?
We'll see on Saturday night. Tomorrow, that'll tell.
Yeah. So what's it going to take to beat him? What do you have to do?
Just have to be myself and get in there and fight. You know, that fire burning in my belly, that's going to give me the push and just do what I do best.
You saw in his last fight he struggled in the championship rounds. He seemed to run out of gas. If it does go to rounds 11 and 12, how prepared are you to step up there and finish it?
I always finish strong. Every fight I finish strong, and I'm going to be there. I'm going to drag him into deep waters, and that's where I'm going to get him. I'm going to punish him.
Can't wait to see it. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Liv?
Thanks, Todd. Jai, I mean, did you hear what Jack said there? He thinks by getting in the ring, being himself is enough to beat you. Do you think that's enough to beat you?
Man, I'm pumped. You know, I'm ready to put on a show. We've done the trenches. We've been in the hard work. I'm ready to go to war.
He says if it gets to the latter rounds, that's where he's going to get you.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Skills pay the bills. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to be a tough guy, but skills pay the bills.
I mean, it has been pretty respectful between you two. The belt is there, but it's more than just a belt. It's about taking that belt home to your daughter, isn't it?
It is. It's for our families. And I see the look in his eyes. He's got that same hunger, so it's going to be a good fight.
Good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you very much.
Potentially, maybe a future pound-for-pound fighter there in Jai Opetaia. These are the challenges that he needs to get through in order to jump into that conversation.
Like I said yesterday, this is the semi-final as such, because you got Ramirez versus Billiam-Smith, obviously next month, and you would hope that then they're on a collision course. I gotta say though, when Olivia was talking to Jai Opetaia, his eyes were saying, "Get away from me." You know, you would see in his eyes just tell a story that I want to fight now. That's the menacing. That's the thing that we've all been wary of him. He was a real fighter to have. But as he's been mentioning all week, skills pay the bills. He's going to go back to what really got him to a world title shot, and that was his boxing ability, not just the raw aggression.
All right, it is a couple of big boys up next. Remember, it is the British heavyweight title fight. They're ready, as is our MC, Mr. Thomas Triber.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a rematch. It is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the British Commonwealth and WBA International Heavyweight Championships. Let's first welcome the challenger, coming to us from Burton-on-Trent, Staffordshire, England. A 2020 Olympic bronze medalist, now undefeated as a professional with 8 wins, 1 draw, 6 of his 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Fraser, the Eraser Clark.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
And now let's welcome the defending champion from Ipswich, England, bringing an undefeated record with 17 wins, 1 draw, 16 of his 17 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending British, Commonwealth, and WBA International Heavyweight Champion, Fabio Wardley. First, we welcome to the scale the challenger, Fraser Clark. $271.3 for the challenger, Fraser the Eraser Clark. Now to the scale, the defending champion, Fabio Wardley. $241.6 for the defending champion, Fabio Wardley.
£30 difference there between the champion, Fabio Wardley, who came in at 241 pounds, and you heard Fraser Clark's weight there, 271 pounds. I think, Barry, that as many people that are split about Beterbiev and Bivol are as split about Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley. People can't call it.
Absolute ball fest, this fight. Absolute ball fest. It's, I mean, this might steal the show. It's like, if the first fight was just an honour to be at, this is hard to pick because you think Fraser Clark would be able to adapt better in the rematch, but also Wardley has that magic of making you fight his fight from the first minute of the first round.
Who makes the correct adjustments from that first fight? Will Fabio Wardley be as aggressive but less reckless? Will Fraser Clark look to mix fire with fire? Will he stick to his boxing? So many variables how this fight could be won and lost. Brilliant, brilliant contest.
I don't think Wardley makes any adjustments. Honestly, I don't. I think this is how I fight. Fraser going to go through it again. Is Fraser going to try and make the adjustments? But if he tries to box more, he just invites more pressure off Wardley. So we got to try and get it right. It's a great fight.
I love that handshake there. They're almost like there was a handshake of, this is going to hurt. We know it's going to hurt, but let's just try and enjoy it as well, gents.
War.
War.
Absolute war.
It really is. I can see Fabio Wardley already ready to speak to Oliver Bazagla, but we are going to go to Todd Grisham and Fraser Clark first. Fraser getting his shot, and I can see. It's just, you know, I've said the winner of this has got an argument to get into the top 15 world rankings. How far off are they?
Yeah, I think you're about right. I think they're still a way off of box for the world title.
Yeah.
But they'll get to that and then start picking off the fringe contenders. I think, you know, and in the heavyweight division, you know, your rise is quite rapid. We know that. So a couple more wins and you're there.
All right, let's hear from the challenger, Fraser Clark. He's with Todd Grisham.
All right, Big Fraser, your fight earlier this year, a Fight of the Year candidate. What's the build-up to this fight been compared to that fight?
It's been a good build-up. You know, I think two good characters, me and Fabio. We've done what we can out here to promote the fight. We've talked question after question after question, and now it's time to do the business, get in there and actually fight.
Do you expect this to be a barn burner beat down like it was last fight, or do you think this will be more definitive in your favor?
It's definitely going to be more definitive in my favor, but it's a fight, mate, no mistake about it. There's a lot of professional rivalry here. He wants to win, I want to win. There can only be one, and I'm going to give it my absolute all to make sure I'll go home with them titles.
You said in one of your previous interviews, it comes down to who's improved the most. What will we see in the ring tomorrow night that you will show us that you've improved?
You have to wait and see for that one, my friend. I can't give all the secrets away.
No secrets. Sorry.
No chance.
Well, best of luck to you, Big Fraser. Okay, let's send it over to Olivia.
Thank you very much. I mean, no secrets on Fraser. What are we going to see change from your game in particular, Fabio, from that first fight?
Yeah, look, me and the team we've looked through the tape a lot of times, and there's some minor adjustments to make. I felt like I had a lot of success with the way I fought, that first fight and the way it went. So, yeah, there's going to be some adjustments, but look, with me, you know what you're going to get, entertainment, and I'm not going to be on the biggest stage at one of the biggest events and on one of the biggest cards and not deliver. So Saturday night is going to be fantastic.
I mean, you mentioned one of the biggest fight cards, one of the biggest fights, Riyadh season. What have you made of all of this?
Yeah, look, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I said yesterday at the presser that I was privileged enough to be at the opening of Riyadh season the first time year on, and like I say, we're a year on now, and it just gets bigger and bigger, and the lights, the camera, the stage, it gets more and more grandiose. So again, I'm just honoured and privileged to be here, and I'm looking forward to the main event as well.
I think everyone else is looking forward to your fight especially and the main event. Thank you so much, Fabio. Good luck.
Thank you.
There you go, the big boys. Two very, very big boys as well. That's it, your undercard fighters have now weighed in. It's all about the main event, boys. Coming up, Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol. We are very, very close now to another Riyadh season classic.
Everything about this event spells big time and the potential impact on both sports, boxing and mixed martial arts.
It's that first punch that lands dictates who's going to win.
Who is the baddest man on the planet?
Unbelievable scenes.
Greatest fight card, I would say, in the history of the sport. This has been a light bulb moment. 10 boxers from the top 15, that's extraordinary.
Atmosphere building here in the Kingdom Arena.
This one should be a thriller here in Saudi Arabia.
Carlos Alcaraz.
The city at a standstill. At a sold-out Kingdom Arena, the fans hold their breath for a glimpse of their heroes.
And this competition, no one have the golden ball. The next competition, we will double it for 1 million.
Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou, it's Godzilla against King Kong.
Yes, it's a perfect matchup for a great fight.
It is lights out! Anthony Joshua!
When I've got through with the rabbit, then we go down for AJ.
Here we are, back in the Kingdom, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for the big one. It is the undisputed heavyweight title fight.
Once you win the Olympic gold, that's one gold that you've won. Now it's time for the undisputed. It's just another step.
What Usyk has done there is incredible. He will go down as one of the greatest of all times.
We're back in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It is the home of big-time boxing. We're ripping up the traditional boxing script. And we're doing something different, promoter versus promoter. This is our first Riyadh season event international. Your first one in America, in LA. The crowd like it. Are we coming back?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
The highest attendance ever for a British boxing event.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? One more time, do a good fight, yes? People! Whoa!
You know, when I think of some of the moments that we've had on Riyadh season in the last 12 months, I mean, it's been incredible. You think of that Fury-Usyk fight, which was just sensational, going to LA for Crawford versus Madrimov, Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua, and it's been so many. I mean, the first one that we did, Fury and Ngannou, I mean, that was insane as well, and we've got another big one, haven't we? This Saturday, live on DAZN, two of the best light heavyweights of this generation. They're going to duke it out. Before they do that, they hit the scale. So let's throw it to your legendary MC, Mr. Michael Buffer.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Kingdom Arena, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. As tomorrow night, Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority proudly presents an evening of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment, culminating in an evening of history as undefeated champion faces undefeated champion for the undisputed Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Promoted by Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Bob Arams Top Rank Boxing, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, along with Gold Star Promotions, World of Boxing and Sella, sponsored by the Saudi Tourism Authority, Saudi National Bank, STC, Dr. Suleiman Al Habib Medical Group, Saudi Airlines, New Murabba Development Company, and Lucid Motors. And special thanks to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian to the two Holy Mosque King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, His Excellency Yorki Al Sheikh. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the weigh-in for the main event. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled as undefeated faces undefeated for the Undisputed Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Coming first to the stage, bringing a perfect record of 20 fights, 20 victories, 20 wins by knockout. He is the reigning and defending unified WBC, WBO, IBF, undefeated light heavyweight world champion, Artur Beterbiev. And now let's welcome his opponent. Also an unblemished professional boxing record of 23 fights, 23 victories, 12 big wins by knockout. He's the reigning, defending, unified WBA, IBO, undefeated, light heavyweight world champion, Dmitry Bivol. First onto the scales will be Dmitry Bivol, representing the WBA and the IBO, undefeated as a professional in 23 fights, 23 victories, 12 wins by knockout. On the scales, the undefeated Dmitry Bivol, 174.12 pounds. Next onto the scales, his record, a perfect one. 20 fights, 20 victories, 20 big wins by knockout. The unified WBC, WBO, IBF, undefeated light heavyweight world champion, Artur Beterbiev. 174.9 pounds for Beterbiev. And ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare for the final face-off before they step into the ring, please welcome to the stage His Excellency, Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, Turki Al Sheikh. And here are the two fighters facing off for the final time.
Here we go. Here we go. This is
it's been 25 years.
I have to be honest with you, a couple of years ago I think this fight was done, couldn't be made. Right? I mean, it wasn't as big commercial as the other undisputed fights, and because of that I felt like it wasn't going to get made. With obviously the help of that man there, His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh, alongside Riyadh Season, It has been made. And I can't thank him enough because I've been waiting for this one for years.
I have goosebumps.
Yeah.
This is special. This is as good as it gets. Two of the finest boxers in world boxing locking horns for all the marbles. Do not blink. This is special.
This is a boxing fan's treat. This is one of those Christmas presents you can only dream of that you never get as a kid. This is the fight that every boxing fan would pick as their #1 fight.
Boxing history.
Wow. Ah, goosebumps.
You know it's a big fight because we've seen loads of big fights, and you get that tingle, don't you, when they go face to face? Like, you just get that special feeling.
By the way, I mean, look at the crowd here at the Cube, by the way. I mean, we're in such a good position where we can see the crowd, and the crowd's incredible. The way it's swelled. Looks like Bivol's got the crowd, though.
He does, he
Bivol's got
does.
the crowd.
I'm intrigued to hear the atmosphere up before that first bell. It's going to be electric. The roof's going to come off, and the fight will not disappoint.
And
this
also,
is a special occasion.
Look how diverse the crowd is as well. People from everywhere. It's crazy. I mean, this you just can't get a better fight than this. You just cannot. And how it plays out, you think who starts fastest, starts the best, gets the biggest chance.
All right, let's hear from the unified light heavyweight champion, maybe the favourite for this one, Artur Beterbiev. He's with Olivia Bazaglo.
Do you know what's funny, Addy? As you've come to me, Artur just looked at me and said, "We'll see." So that might be the answer to most of these questions. But Artur, how has fight week been for you?
Good, like usually.
What's your favourite part about these weeks?
What can you?
What's your favourite part about these weeks leading up to the fight?
Favorite part is fighting.
What can we expect from you and this fight on Saturday night?
Like I said, we'll see.
I was expecting that. And people probably want to know, you as a fighter, what do you do between now and tomorrow night? What are your plans for the next 24 hours?
Be quiet and getting ready to fight.
Artur, thank you so much. Good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you very much.
I am here with the other unified light heavyweight champion of the world, Dimitri Bivol. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I've ever seen you this relaxed before a fight, and yet it's the biggest fight of your life. Why are you so chill right now?
I'm always like this. I'm chill, but I'm focused also.
You said your entire life you've been preparing for this moment. Now that it's here and you look back on your life and your career, what does this mean to you to have reached the apex?
It means a lot, but at the same time, I'm just trying to forget about everything what I went through. I say thank you for everything, for everyone, and now I just focus on Saturday. And I just need to eat right, sleep, and be ready on October 12th.
Can you sleep before a fight like this? Is it hard to go to bed?
No, to be honest, I got used to it. You know, I'm in this field since I remember myself, since 6 years old. I'm fighting. I'm in this mood. I have to sleep.
A lot of fighters say they treat every opponent the same. In preparation for Beterbiev, do you treat this fight camp and this opponent the same as you have every other fighter?
Most of it, yeah. Most of it the same, because all my opponents I respect very well. I was preparing them for 100%, and for this fight also. I was trying to reach my limits for preparation. I was working hard.
You've got a lot of fans here that have come all the way to Saudi Arabia to watch you fight. What's your message to them right now, the eve before your big fight?
Yeah, thank you guys. It's my friends from all over the world, from Russia, from Kyrgyzstan, from Moldova, from everywhere. And thank you guys for supporting me.
All right, best of luck to you. Eddie Hearn, if we could get a word in with you real quick. There's mega fights, there's big fights, but as far as 50-50 fights, I'm not sure we've had a fight like this in recent memory. What's your take on just the matchup between these two?
I think you have no two experts with the same pick. You know, you've got a lot of travelling fans turning in now. Anyone here for Artur Beterbiev? Small. Anyone here for Dimitri Bivol? Okay.
Anyone here for Eddie Hearn?
No one. Listen, this is a generational great fight. The best fight in the light heavyweight division for decades. Two ice-cold competitors. And, you know, for me, this is an opportunity for Dimitri Bivol to achieve a lifelong dream. He already slayed the pound-for-pound king in Canelo Alvarez. This is a bigger fight. This is a bigger night. This is what he wants more than anything. Get ready tomorrow night for an incredible card, top to bottom. Riyadh season explodes October 12th, right next door in the Kingdom Arena. Don't miss it. I believe that Dimitri Bivol will be the undisputed world champion tomorrow night.
We shall see live on DAZN tomorrow night. Let's send it back upstairs to Ade.
Wow, I have goosebumps, honestly, goosebumps, because, again, it's a fight that I've been waiting for years. It's a fight that takes place on Saturday live on DAZN. We've had so many big fights on DAZN in the last 12 months to few years. It's undoubtedly the home. It's undoubtedly, undisputedly the home of boxing.
Hey, listen up. Let's have it. We know you've always got your eye on the prize, the championship belt. And why wouldn't you? You're a finely tuned, well-oiled boxing watching machine, capable of consuming over 150 fights on DAZN every year.
We've gone big, we've gone global.
Churning through combinations, comebacks, and non-stop knockouts. Where are you? With big fights every week, you're the best in the world. So go on, get that belt. Champ, DAZN, undisputed.
There you go. All done. That's it, isn't it,
Just
really?
like
This
that.
is it. Just like that. We have one more sleep left until we see those two guys and the rest of the card throw hands. Wow.
You know it's a big fight when you're nervous and you're not even fighting. I don't Fury knows it was a huge fight, the biggest fight we'll all probably ever do. But I haven't been this excited about a fight since Canelo Golovkin won. I think it's that sort of fight.
Is this more of a 50-50 fight than Fury Usyk?
Oh, I don't know. That was no, that was really a hard one to call as well. And
as all undisputed fights should be. They all should be this difficult to call.
Didn't you do a poll? And wasn't it like a couple of thousand and it was dead 50-50?
Dead 50-50.
50-50, incredible. And I can see why. I can see why. Both exceptional fighters. Both have a great opportunity to win this with the skills that they possess. Very few weaknesses. This is a dream bout. You got to see me and Barry just before that first bell. You'll see us. We'll be going
but more
full of excitement.
But forget about the skill for a minute, the power and all that sort of stuff. Their temperaments are made for the big fights because they're always calm. I'd like to know what their heart rate is. I bet you it's what they want around like 50.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go up. I mean, and that's what makes them so good because whether they're trying to be aggressive or under pressure, they're just level.
Have any of you changed your mind yet?
No.
No? I'm starting to swing.
Hey,
I'm starting to swing. You know what it is? It's me picturing what size Beterbiev is going to be in the ring tomorrow night. I think it's going to be enormous.
Yes.
I think it's going to be 200 pounds plus. I think he's going to put on a lot of size. But skills pay the bills. All right, let's remind you of what you got coming your way tomorrow. It really is from Christian Lopez Flores. Then we move to the lightweight division. Mohamed Alakel takes on Jesus Gonzalez. Ben Whitaker, the surgeon, takes on Liam Cameron. Sky Nicholson versus Raven Chapman, the first female world title fight on a Riyadh season card in Saudi Arabia. Eubank Jr. versus Kamil Zaramata. Frank Warren's put 50 grand bonus on the head of Eubank Jr. if Kamil Zaramata can get the job done. Then we move to the Cruiserweight division. Jar Pataya takes on Jack Massey. Fabio Wardy versus Fraser Clark, a rematch of, I think, the fight of the year when it comes to British soil back in March. And then what we've been speaking about, not just all week, but for a couple of years, Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol for everything at 175 pounds. What do you think, minus the main event, will be the fight of the night?
I said this before, I like Liam Cameron, Ben Whitaker.
Really?
The narrative behind Liam Cameron's backstory, the talent that Ben Whitaker possesses, it could be a real crossroads fight. And there's something in me senses something could happen in that fight.
Yourself, quickly?
Yeah, I think the Whitaker Cameron fight, just because he's made for him. I think the way Cameron fights is so 100% that I think Whitaker will see the very best of him, and I think that will sell him to a wider audience. Not just the showmanship, he has the minerals to go to the top.
Remember, DAZN Riyadh season isn't just about boxing, so many other different sports as well. Tennis, snooker, one of those sports is MMA. Francis Ngannou is back in the octagon. He takes on Renan Ferreira, and the cameras went to Cameroon to find a bit more about the man they call the Predator.
J'avais 9 ans. Et on a dû commencer à travailler à la carrière de Saad. Il n'y avait pas d'autre alternative, sinon on aurait fait. Je crois à mes 13 ans, c'est là où j'en suis venu au fait que je devais être boxeur professionnel. C'est une décision que j'ai prise seule, j'ai dû mûrir cette décision pendant des années parce que c'était dur, il fallait quand même du bol, quitter le chez-soi sans savoir si on reviendra un jour parce qu'il y en a plusieurs qui sont partis et qui ne sont pas revenus. Et c'est à partir du Niger que les choses commençaient à se compliquer. Ça se compliquait davantage après l'Algérie et le Maroc. Cette partie qui est la plus dangereuse parce que c'est l'étape où on est un peu inconscient des dangers qui nous entourent, des dangers auxquels nous nous exposons. Pomper des zodiacs de piscine et poser sur la mer Méditerranée dans l'espoir d'être sauvé par la Croix-Rouge. Et c'est le moment où tu te dis, ok, là j'ai tout perdu, il est hors de question que je rentre, j'avance à tout prix. À plusieurs fois, tu as eu peur pour ta vie. Après, il fallait vivre pour quelque chose ou mourir pour quelque chose. Things that I have done before on the way, I still can't believe it, even though I was the one living there. So it's hard to even explain to somebody and expect him to understand. But at times, you really don't think it was that dangerous. Your life is like battling in between dangerous situation, dramas. So you used to. Yes, Morocco, yes, Africa, there is Europe. And when you get that close, you never come back.
Really is an incredible piece. I've been lucky enough to have seen it already. I got a little sneak preview of it, and it's fascinating. You think you know the Francis Ngannou story, but you don't know everything. And I think this documentary, which is out on the DAZN platforms tomorrow, will let you know a bit more about Francis Ngannou, who's back in the octagon for the first time in a couple of years. He takes on Renan Ferreira October 19th, live on DAZN. It should be a good one. All right. Guys, look at the smile. Look at the smiles. Can we look at those?
Christmas come early.
Let's go bed. Wake up tomorrow. Let's go.
It's like that, isn't it? Like you go to sleep and wake up. It is Christmas for all of us. It should be Christmas for all of you fight fans as well. Tomorrow we get to find out who is the best light heavyweight of this generation. Make sure you tune in. All the action gets underway from 6:30. The whole team is out here. Make sure you join us because you do not want to miss this one.
Legend tells. At the peak of the highest mountain, there lay dormant for thousands of years a mystical crown with the power to rule all of mankind. Lusted by men, willing to die for its gift, while two emerged undefeated. There could be only one possible outcome. For one to wield the power to rule them all.
Boxing on DAZN, sponsored by William Hill.
First time buying crypto? It's like your first visit to a taco truck. You're thinking, are these guys legit? What's in that? Do I even like tacos? So you start with un poquito, a taster. If you like this, we can mix things up. Go off menu, spicy as you like.
Penalty. Oh, if one man's going to miss. Here we go.
Still a real promise. Intense pressure.
One shot! Oh, not again, love.
That is unreal. Here we go. Absolute perfection.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy.